And we are live. There we go. Excellent. All right then, Sid. Should I toss the first question at you?
Are you not going to introduce me or anything?
Well, you can go in ahead and introduce yourself if you'd like to. That'd be great.
Okay, hi. My name is Sid. I am a guy. I made a couple of videos and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, very good videos. Very good videos. I quite like them.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Your latest one has by far have to be my favorite one that you've ever made. The Hellblade one. That one was amazing for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So, Sid, when did you start YouTube?
This particular channel or YouTube in general?
In general.
So I started in 2007 doing dumb videos with friends and stuff. I mean, those kind of, the kind of stuff that you make when you're young and stupid. And then in 2010, I did a daily vlog for 5 years, which was strenuous, to say the least. Doing a video every day for 5 years by yourself is not fun by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
Yeah. And then I stopped in 2015 and eventually decided I wanted to do I wanted to make something because I was bored. And I wanted to talk about things. So I ended up with this current channel, which has kind of worked out for me.
And when did you start this channel?
So I made the channel 2 or 3 years ago, but I was constantly planning out what I wanted to do. It was always going to be kind of gaming focused. Originally it was just going to be Let's Plays, but the Let's Play kind of arena per se is a bit oversaturated. And then I thought maybe doing commentaries, but keeping up with that kind of momentum is way too intense. And then I came across videos like Joseph Anderson's and Raceovic, and I was like, you know what, I could probably do something like this. And then so 2016, the very end of it, literally like the day after Christmas, was when I released the first video.
Right, like commentaries in the sense of like Leafy's here commentary and Pyrocynical.
Yeah, that kind of thing. I mean, it was just kind of going through what kind of options to go with, and that kind of content was way too intense for me as a person to do.
Right. So why did you start YouTube, Sid? What got you into doing YouTube?
So I studied to be a filmmaker. I got a scholarship at the Los Angeles Film School, but I wasn't allowed to go because of my parents. So I ended up just working in television commercials, working on short films and stuff. And yeah, that was basically the whole thing. And because I was just going to make videos anyway, so it just became the kind of natural progression of things.
Right. So you've had the vlogging channel before this one, and then you said you had another channel as well before that vlogging channel.
I mean, I had like numerous channels, like tons of tiny channels, because you have like an idea for a brand or an idea of things to do, and then they kind of they stop, you scrap them, you start another project with a few friends, and yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. How many channels would you say you've had before this current one right now?
I mean, this is the only gaming channel I have. So yeah, but I mean, in total, I probably made about 10 channels in total.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, granted, with various levels of success, from like 1 subscriber and 1 view to however many I'm on right now.
Right. So I was curious, Sid, well, how come you're so inactive on Twitter? Because I see that like your last tweet was early last month, and I was just curious, how come you're so inactive?
Because I'm replying to 128 different messages on Discord, and I don't have time to say anything on Twitter. And to be honest, I don't know. So I have a philosophy with life with and that is like speak only when what you have to say is more beautiful than silence. And I don't have anything interesting to say
Right.
or anything. So I mean, I'm not interested in saying, hi, I just had breakfast. And whatever's in the news, I'm not, I don't have an opinion on. And because the news moves so fast, like every few hours, there's something new going on. I don't have time to formulate an opinion to say something that's worth saying. Well, in my opinion, that is.
Right. Hello, dead man walking again. How are you? So, you don't think you'd ever become more active on Twitter?
I mean, at some point I will have to be. I mean, something will come up and I will have to say something. I imagine if I make another video, I will probably do a, hey, I made a new video. And yeah.
Right. Yeah. A tweet. Yeah. Promoting your video. Yeah. I get that.
I might do that. And then, so a little while back when I was just starting out, well, not so much starting out, kind of like in the in-between the Depression and Video Games video and the Art of Metal Gear Solid, my free time was kind of a lot more open than it is now. And what I would do is I would see all the peers in what I did. So people like Heavy Eyed, Racervic, Joseph Anderson, Mark Brown, etc. And I would just schedule tweets promoting their videos because, if I have any kind of audience, I would, want people to see their content because that's the kind of stuff that I like watching.
I didn't even know you could schedule tweets.
Oh yeah, dude, like Hootsuite, Buffer. There's plenty of social media marketing apps out there that are free to use that you can schedule content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Yeah, but I generally just only do it on Twitter because it's the only social media network I like.
Oh, I get you. Okay, so you have to use another app to schedule the tweet. It's not built into Twitter.
Oh no, well I think TweetDeck, which is built, TweetDeck was an app that was built by Twitter, not by Twitter, by someone else that got bought out by Twitter, and that's like an official platform where you can do exactly the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So your first ever video on this channel, Sid, was on a I don't remember the name of the game, sadly, but it was a point and click game.
Yeah, so 1979 Revolution Black Friday.
Yes.
Which, by the way, worst title ever.
Yeah, it's pretty long. It's hard to remember because it's long. So, yeah. So I was curious. Have you ever played Telltale games or any other point and click games? Okay.
Yeah. I really enjoyed The Walking Dead. I mean, I had the big crying moment at the end. Wolf Among Us is probably my favorite Telltale game. Played the first 2 episodes of Life is Strange, and then I never really got back into it.
Yeah, I've seen Life is Strange videos, and I'm just like, I am not playing this game. It looks terrible.
I mean, I don't think it's terrible. It's just the way that I play games is based on mood. So, if I'm not in the mood to play, so I'll start playing it. I'm like, okay, this is good. And then after a period of time, when I'm like, okay, I'm done playing video games for today. If I don't have time the next day, or if I'm not in the mood, then that game will probably not be played again.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
if I ever get around to it, I will probably have to start the game all over again because that's just how neurotic I am.
Right. Yeah, I've played the Batman Telltale series, and I've played Sam and Max. That's about it for point and click games for me, and I loved both of them. But would you say overall you like point and click games, and you just thought the game that you made a video on was really bad, or?
I mean, I don't hate point and click games, but I don't love them either.
Right.
I feel they're a bit limiting.
Yeah, I could understand that. I do like the fact that these games do allow you to, I guess, your decisions mold the story. I do like that a lot about these games.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd like the idea that there are, choices to be made. But once you play one Telltale game, you've played them all.
Right. Yeah.
They have a very specific format. They've got the episode 1, which is 2 hours long, which feels like forever. And the second one is kind of a bit more interesting because of the hook that they leave you on at the end of the first episode. And then the 5th episode, they try and do something really big.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I mean, you can see the formula going on, and it's a bit. Once you've seen it, you know.
Right. Yeah, I get you. Well, I guess they want to, finish it off with a bang, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was curious, Sid, how come you divide your Sid courses into chapters? I would assume since it's a course, it's divided into chapters, but I could be wrong.
So when I write the episodes, I kind of write it in the way that you would write an essay or just a very long document. So the very first kind of section is called prologue, which literally just says, "Hi, and welcome to the Sid course," and all that, and then that's it. And then I have the introduction section, write out what I would do in an introduction, and then I write everything based on essentially like chapter heading. So, for example, with Hellblade, there's the can't even remember what the chapters were. Damn. So like the types of hallucinations, then delusions, and so on, and talk about it. It just makes it a bit more structured and easier to follow. And when I'm writing it, it allows me to think and write specifically for that, because it's very easy when you're writing to pull in 100 different points that you want to make and then kind of meld it all together, and it becomes a mess. And I'd rather not have that. I'd rather stick to a topic, and then within that topic talk about a topic and make it flow on a more natural progression, rather than confuse the audience by bringing in 100 different elements that don't need to be there. So it's more about making it easier for me to understand when I'm talking and writing, and for the audience to understand when they're listening, because you want to be able to follow an organic flow for the video.
Right. Someone's asking, ask him about the Sidstein and when that will be back up next, please.
Oh, okay. So the Sidstein Chapel. So that's what he's talking about. The Sidstein Chapel is a great pun. It's just the name of my company. It's just a portfolio of all of the things that I do. So the YouTube videos that you've seen, so on Leonardo Da Sidci, that's just one of a number of projects that I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The Sidstein Chapel is a creative playground, if you will.
Right. Well, there's your answer, Deadman Jim. So, you also made a video on walking simulators, and I was curious, which one would you say is your favorite and your least favorite walking simulator out of all the ones you've played? I'd say my favorite is Firewatch.
Okay. I mean, my personal favorite would probably be the Edith Finch one. Finch, is that what it's called?
Yeah, What Remains of Edith Finch. Yeah.
That's the one. That's probably my favorite, and that literally came out straight after I made that video, which great. They could have told me. Someone could have told me that they were making a walking simulator that was actually like something I would enjoy, but no, they decided to release it straight after and make me look like an idiot.
Yeah. And I think you also made a video on relaxing games, or I don't know, was that part of the walking simulator game as well, or video as well, or was that just
kind of? So just like when I'm playing games, everything I do is based on whatever mood I'm in.
Right.
So during that period of time, I was very stressed, and I was looking for some way to relax, enjoy myself, etc. And someone suggested to me to play Proteus, which is just a walking simulator that literally has nothing to do. Which, fine, I'm sure people love the game and have reasons to like the game, etc. But I didn't like it. It just made me more anxious, because I'm trying to see if there's some kind of art behind it that I need to try and figure out and understand. It just made me more stressed. And so I was thinking about the concept of games that you can relax to. And during that time, which was around February of last year or the year before, whenever it was, Stardew Valley came out. And I found myself playing that every evening before bed for at least an hour without even realizing, because it was such a relaxing, simple game to play that had things to do, but at the same time didn't ask a lot of you mechanically. Well, as in like mentally, it didn't require you to do a lot. It was kind of like a routine based set of tasks that you would make for yourself. But they were all, once they're programmed into you, that's it, and you just kind of go through the motions. And the same goes for something like Euro Truck Simulator, which is you have to be awake to do that, but it's on a subconscious level. You can handle that game very easily. There's no work in it, which is why it's so relaxing. So at that time, I was looking at how walking simulators aren't so much relaxing as they are engaging, because you're not doing anything mechanically. They require your mind to be active, to think about things, to understand and process the narrative or the art involved. So yeah.
Right. So someone's asking in chat, can you ask him if he has ever played a Final Fantasy game and what he thinks overall of the franchise?
I really like the franchise, but not to the point where, like I have a poster or anything of it. I'm not a fan of anything besides maybe Metal Gear and Assassin's Creed. I played 7, I played 8, I played 10. I really wanted to get into 14, but that's a lot of effort to put into something, and I'm not big on MMOs. I mean, I've never played an MMO, so yeah. And I really want to play 15, but that sounds like a 100-hour game. I don't have 100 hours to play video games with.
Yeah, I know those games are very time consuming, so I don't really like those kinds of games that are, you have to put in hundreds of hours into, like, I don't know, The Witcher 3 is a good example.
It's the perfect example. I wish I had the time to play any of these games.
Yeah, like, Jesus, like, how can someone play it for that long? Like,
I don't know. I have too many other things going on in life, man. Like, I got work, I got bills to pay. Damn.
yeah, like, I mean, I probably could because I've got, free time, but I just don't want to. I'd get bored of it probably within, I don't know.
I mean, apparently it's really good, so I would say at least give it a shot.
I mean, I've played a bit of The Witcher 3, like maybe 5 hours or so, and I like it, but I can see it getting repetitive at some point.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but I've never played Final Fantasy, so I don't know. Doesn't look like my cup of tea, though. Kingdom Hearts looks good, though.
I tried playing Kingdom Hearts. I really tried.
You didn't like it?
I mean, I don't want to sound like a dick, but it seems cool. It looks cool. I just really didn't like the combat, or like how it just felt a little sluggish, in my opinion. But, whatever.
Oh, I see. Well, it looks like a kid-friendly RPG to me.
Yeah, I don't understand the hype. Like, I'm sure it must be great. I wouldn't disagree that it must be amazing. There's clearly a lot of hype for the third one. I just
yeah,
don't see it.
right. Someone says one thing I like about The Witcher is that you don't need to play through to get things out of it. You can play a few hours and get enjoyment out of it. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed the few hours that I played of it, but I don't know. What games would you say are underrated gems that people should give a chance?
Tetris.
Tetris.
100%. Until you have 1,000 hours in Tetris, you don't know life.
I mean, I've played Tetris like in arcades, but I don't know. I don't know how to play it, so I lose every time.
Get it on your phone, play it. That's literally how my train journeys go. Like, just sitting there playing Tetris on my phone. Best game in the world.
Okay, I don't know if they have it on Steam or not. Tetris, they might, but I'll definitely download it on my phone for sure. Tetris is great. I have it on my Game Boy. That's what someone's saying. I didn't even know it was on the Game Boy.
It was originally on the Game Boy, I think, or the NES. I don't know. All I know is I am amazing at that game. It's the game I'm best at.
Yeah, I'm not good at it. I just don't know like what you're supposed to do. I know it's a bunch of blocks raining down and you have to position it in a certain way, but that's it. I don't know more than that.
You just have to clear the blocks, just clear the arena. That's it. So
Okay.
simple. It's so refined. Like, it's a work of art, that game.
Yeah, I've just like I said, played it in arcades and I don't know. I'm more of a fan of like Pac-Man or any other arcade game.
I don't know. Pac-Man's overrated, overhyped. Doesn't
Yeah,
deserve the fame.
yeah, I can understand that, but I like it personally.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so which other games besides Metal Gear Solid would you say have like top tier art?
Top tier art.
Yeah.
The Final Fantasy series have always been very artistically driven. So that, but I'm not as familiar with the artist or the art in that to make a video on it yet. I'm looking into it. It's very much. I'm thinking about it quite a lot to do something on that. But then I also Supergiant Games, so the makers of Transistor, Bastion, Pyre. Their art is incredible. It's just incredibly detailed and evocative. I really love their art style. Trying to think. What else has really great art? Superhot is pretty good as far as an aesthetic goes.
Superheart?
Superhot.
Oh, super hot. Oh yeah, I know that
Yeah.
game. Yeah, I played it. I
Yeah.
loved it. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. As far as an art style goes, that kind of minimalist, low polygon look. I mean, it was very much in trend last year. Probably will be for the next few years, doing games in that low poly art style. But they start molding into one another, and they kind of all look the same. Whereas Superhot kind of went a slightly different route by making everything just white, and then you have the black and red, and everything just kind of stands out, and it was just beautiful to look at.
Right. And, like the characters were like made out of glass, so that was pretty neat as well.
Oh yeah, that's it. That was a great design choice right there.
Yeah.
Make everything kind of fit into the world.
Yeah. So I was curious, why do you say "stay sexy" at the end of all of your videos?
So it's just habit, I guess. When I did the vlogs and stuff, it just became the way to end the videos, and it kind of just stuck with me, and that's just kind of how I say bye.
Well, I mean,
I have for like 10 years now, so
right. Well, I like it. Makes me feel good when I listen to it.
yeah. You should always remember, stay sexy.
Yeah, for sure. So this is about your last video that you made, the Hellblade one, which, in my in my opinion, it was a wonderful video, truly amazing video.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And I was curious, how did you get the courage to make that video? Because that video must have required a decent amount of courage to put out and make.
So I was going through a really, really dark time. Between October and January, it was a really rough period, and so my psychosis was getting worse and worse every day. Technically, still is. It's on it escalates more and more on a daily basis, and having kept it, like that part of me away and hidden from everyone for 20 years, it's a very long time to not open up about it and not talk to anyone besides like doctors every year or two. And I just needed to tell someone somewhere about it. I mean, I started opening up to like friends, people who I interact with on a daily basis, and the response that you get is kind of the same response you'd get when you try and tell someone that, yeah, I am suffering from depression, or I'm having anxiety attacks, or you're having some kind of mental breakdown or whatever. And the problem is with people who are fairly neurotypical, they don't understand and they don't know. Not because, they don't want to or they don't care. It's because they genuinely have no idea or have any understanding about how any of this works. And that sucks. And it's just merely a lack of education. And again, that's not their fault. So for me, it was more of I need to somehow explain to my friends and work colleagues and people that I know and have to interact with on a daily basis that, hey, I'm not okay. And I'm really trying to just keep it together and just keep moving forward with life in some capacity. And I need your help. And you get the responses like, hey, it'll be okay. Or you can, think positive, or, dumb things like that. And it's just doesn't help. Thank you for the magical cure. It works. Yay. I should have thought of that beforehand. I wish I could make it just suddenly go away or think positive. And that's, so I had to do something, like, just for my own sake, just like, if anyone's going to ask me about it and see how I'm doing, I just kind of say, hi, could you do me a favor and just watch this video? Because I'm kind of sick of trying to explain to people that, yeah, I hear voices and no, they don't go away. And that, everything sucks and I feel like killing myself every day. Like, trying to explain that over and over again to people, especially when they ask you, hey, how are you? And I'm like, I'm just getting by, I guess. Like, I don't want to lie to people just to make the conversation slightly more pleasant. I'd rather just people know it's not great, but if you still see that I'm here, we're doing good. Just getting by. That's a win.
Right.
So yeah, I had to do it. I had no choice. Well, I mean, yeah, I had no choice but to try and do something in order to at least help other people understand what I'm dealing with. And on the plus side, I guess people can, I've had quite a lot of people kind of reach out to me about their own issues, about how they also kind of suffer and live with the same kind of thing. And, and it helped them. And quite a few of them have sent it to friends, family, colleagues, etc., to help explain what they're going through as well. So I guess that's good as too.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely a stigma, and many people are just completely unaware.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. I've definitely educated myself a lot on that sort of things because it's always interested me, and I have anxiety to a certain degree. A few years ago, I used to suffer from very bad panic attacks. Back in fourth grade, because I just hated the school that I went to and everything, and it was awful. And I would be in tears. The teachers would literally have to drag me into the classroom, and it was terrible. And for me to be able to surpass that, it was tricky, but I ended up moving to a different school and I was able to overcome that, and it felt great. But I know in your case, to overcome something like that, it's just, it's out of your reach, I guess.
Yeah, there's no overcoming it. This is my life.
Right.
And it's going to be that for the rest of it.
Right. But I guess if you're able to live with it and manage it, I guess, power to you, and I applaud you.
Yeah, you take each day as it comes. One step at a time.
Right. Yeah. But what you say, do you relate to the main character of the game in any way? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I don't want to butcher it.
Senua.
Senua, yes.
To a certain extent, yes. Yeah, I kind of relate to her. In the sense that, yeah, she has goals to achieve, and whatever she's trying to do, she's dealing with a lot and just persevering through it. And yeah, so I can't. One of the things that kind of hit home to me, besides that end fight, was was having to find patterns in everything and making sure everything lines up before actually doing something. I mean, in reality, technically speaking, walking through a door should not be that hard, or any kind of action is not that difficult, realistically. However, when you're in a situation, when you're dealing with, your own brain not functioning unless things work on a more, I wouldn't call it like OCD, but maybe to a certain extent it is, where everything just has to kind of line up, not just in the, hey, look, there are symbols that, line up in a certain way and whatnot, but as in like things in your life, like, drinking water or doing a certain number of tasks before you can do something else to do something. That's why I related to most with Senua.
Right. So I was curious, Sid, what does your profile picture on YouTube represent? I was curious what that
It's just
person
me.
is.
I just drew a picture, dude. It was just this kind of side portrait of my face.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Why the specific clothing though?
I don't know, man. I look kind of good in a hood.
Oh, okay.
And I really like the whole kind of the pink and blue vibe. And yeah.
It's a good combination for sure. I quite like it. I just wasn't sure if that was like you or it was something else.
Who the hell else is going to be? I'm not going to stick someone else on my profile picture.
No, I was.
What am I going to do? No, dude, that's me. I drew the slightly cartoony version of myself. I didn't want to put a picture of myself in there.
Right.
Because just a picture. I needed a picture, but I'm not big on logos. I don't really care for having like a brand per se. I try and make every video different in some kind of way. And I thought, yeah, I'll just draw a cartoony version of myself, make it a cool color scheme, and stick it on. It'll do, I guess.
Right. And you said you've been living with this for 20 years. Are you 20 years old?
I'm 29.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, because if you're 20 and you've got that voice, I am hoping that in 5 years I have a voice like that.
No, I'm 29.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes a bit more sense for your voice. Yeah, you're 14 years older than me then.
Oh, damn, dude.
Yeah, I'm 15, yep.
You're making me sound real old.
Yeah. I've interviewed a 29-year-old before, so it's not like anything weird for me.
I know, but it's just like, dude, I'm getting old.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't put myself in your shoes because it's 14 years away from me.
Oh, you got plenty to do, plenty to look forward to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Someone in chat is asking, has a game ever left you stunned/speechless, either in a good or bad way?
Stunned or speechless? I mean, The Walking Dead Season 1, that end episode, that got me in tears, and I was just like, damn. They did good. Like, well done. I don't know about... I'm trying to think of something else. Oh, wait, no. To the Moon. That got me right in the feels. Right in the feels, that one. It's like this RPG Maker game. Mechanics are awful. It's like the dialogue is real cheesy and whatnot, but once you go through that, it's 4 hours long. It's such a simple, basic game, but such a heartfelt story. And it's amazing how like 128 pixels can do that to you.
I've never played either of those games because I'm not a big fan of The Walking Dead, and To the Moon has interested me, but I've never purchased it.
Do it. It's like $2. Pick it up, play it, cry. It'll take you 4 hours. It's wonderful.
I know PewDiePie has played it, and I think I saw a few episodes of its Let's Play, but years ago, so I don't really recall anything from it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So you received a shout out from Shammy, and I love his content as well. And I think you received it like 1 or 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
2 weeks ago. How did it feel to get that shout out?
For one, it was very nice to get the shout out, especially from someone with a channel as big as his. We've spoken a couple of times, talking about just life and stuff, and what are you up to? Usually, he says he's working on a No Man's Sky video because, you know,
Yeah.
that's where he makes his money.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not going to judge. And then on the other hand, when you wake up one day with like 15,000 new subscribers, it's nice, but then it's also kind of overwhelming because
Oh yeah,
everyone
for sure.
then jumps onto the Discord link, and yeah, and so so obviously at the end of like the last few videos, I've said that if you're suffering from like mental health issues like depression and anxiety, and you would just want to talk to someone, feel free to talk to me, because I'm more than happy to listen. Because so this may sound a little pretentious and a little kind of rude to other people, but when you're in that kind of content creator space, there's a lot of easy way outs. It's very easy to say, hey, yeah, I support mental health and looking after yourself and blah blah blah, and if you're feeling suicidal, call this number and that number, and here's a list, go do that. And you kind of just pass it off, and it feels just really disingenuous. And yes, it's good that people are doing that, and yes, it's good that you're providing the options and things to do so. However, you're also asking people who aren't in the greatest of shape mentally, psychologically, to go do something that is also very uncomfortable.
Right.
So my stance has always been, if you're going to do something, do it properly and try and help in some capacity. So I've always, been pretty good at listening. So, I said, hey, contact me if you want to. I'm not going to say, hey, go call 1-800-SUICIDE if you're feeling bad. I'll listen to what you have to say, because what you're going through is important. What you're dealing with isn't something that you should deal with alone. And if you're uncomfortable with talking with your friends or family or some stranger that's there on a suicide hotline, then, I will do my best to try and, listen to what you have to say. So, yeah. So based on that, now I have, at least 100 messages a day that I respond to.
Wow.
So that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, I don't want to discourage people from trying to open up, because it is important that they do. And I tell everyone, I apologize that I'm not immediately responding, because, I'm trying to get through as many of these as I can in a single day. But I will respond, and I will read everything that's sent to me. And I do. Just trying to catch up with everything.
I think that's definitely admirable that you're responding to that messages in a single day. That's really admirable.
I mean, it has to be done. The thing is, we also have on that Discord server, we have like a channel where people can open up and talk about kind of personal issues, which kind of lightens the load. And because we have such a great community of people, everyone is always constantly trying to help one another and support each other in the way that they can, because they know that I'm also doing it in like private messages. If they feel like they just need someone to talk to, then they go in there and they share.
Right. I hope you can continue to do that as you grow, because I know you'll be getting, more and more messages every time, and it'll definitely be very admirable if you continue to do that as you grow.
Oh yeah, I intend to. I mean, that's my kind of primary focus with this. I would like to make some more videos. I don't have any plans to, because I have no idea what I'm going to do next. Zero clue. Just, again, like I said before, it's all down to mood, whatever mood I'm in. If some game kind of comes to mind and has like an idea or a concept that I want to discuss or share, then yeah, I'll make a video on it, and it won't take long to make. It'll probably take a week to do so. But yeah, but in that space of time, I highly doubt that someone else is going to give me a shout out and send another 15,000 people my way to to talk about whatever they're going through. So yeah. So I think I'll be okay with all this.
Right. Yeah, because I know some people, as they start to get bigger, it starts to get harder for them to reply to messages and or just completely ignore them, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's not my style. I will do everything I can to do so.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that because most people, when they get, you know, quote unquote YouTube famous, you know, they just start to shut themselves off from, you know, the people that made them essentially.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't ever want to be YouTube famous,
Right.
in quotation marks, because it's just not that kind of life that I want. I have a job, you know, I have like other things that I do, and I don't want to be kind of wrapped up in a world where I have to make a video every day or every week just to, you know, make a living.
Right.
This whole YouTube thing is a hobby, and through it, I've met quite a lot of, you know, great people, and I talk to hundreds of people every day now, and it's a lot more. So where I am currently with this whole thing is kind of like the level I would like to stay at.
Right.
Because I mean, I don't make any money on this stuff. I made like $10 in the last video, so you know, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, and so I don't want to be living in that kind of YouTube bubble where, like I said, making videos just to pay bills and stuff. Nah, the playing video games and making videos about them is a hobby, and I would like to stay that way, where, you know, it keeps me grounded and down to earth, but at the same time doing something interesting.
Right. Someone in chat is asking, ask him what his opinion on love is. He has a speech that he always says.
Oh God, who asked that? Who asked that?
Dead man Jim.
Dead man Jim. Okay. All right. So this isn't an opinion. This is just an interpretation. So most people consider. Hold on, let me have a sip of water first. This is going to take a while.
Okay.
Okay. So most people consider love as a very kind of singular thing. Like you love your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, your parents, your sisters, brothers, you know, friends, etc. But love can be defined into 6 categories. There is friendship, family, union, care, bond, and life. So friendship is fairly obvious. The love of friendship is a mutual trust and honesty and understanding between the people involved. So you have your friends. If you can trust them, you can be honest with them, and if you can understand each other, that's a love right there. That's important. That's one of the most important things in life right there. The next type of love is family. Most people consider family to be parents and siblings, or children in some cases. Blood, essentially. What family really is the people that you live with, i.e. the people you spend your days and your time with. So the people that you go to work with every day and you spend your days with them, the people that you spend your evenings with, whether it's a roommate, a housemate, whether it's a social environment in which you hang out in, like, I don't know, soccer, lacrosse, whatever. These are little families of whom you spend your time with, and that is a love that is shared between these people. Then the next type of love is union, i.e., you know, marriages, you know, the significant others. You have a union with these people. There is a love there, even with people of whom are no longer here, like exes and so on. That love existed. That love is there, and you have a special connection based on that. Then the next type of love is a bond, shared experiences. For example, you know, people doing something together, people creating memories and sharing things like with each other in some capacity, whether it's skydiving together or even, I don't know, hanging out on an internet chat room and talking and having a connection. That's a bond. Those things can grow, they can shrink, but they're still a form of love right there. The next type of love is care. And care is essentially the, concern for the well-being of someone else. So, or something else even. So caring for a pet, caring for your own YouTube channel, for example. This is kind of love that, is very unique. Like, for example, I care about every single person that comes onto my server and wants to talk. That is a type of love. And it's not, obviously it's not romantic and it's not, ridiculous,
Right.
but it's a love that I care for each of these people because they are going through something and I want them to be feeling better than they currently are. And then the final type of love is life, which is giving your life to something. And most people interpret that as like, the Romeo and Juliet sense of ridiculousness, where you go kill yourself or, sacrifice yourself, or whatever. To a certain extent, yes, that does count, but really it's more about devoting what you do, your life, and your work towards. I.e., for example, some people love film and they will pursue making films and studying film for their life because that is their passion. Same goes for something like marriage. Like, you meet someone, you give your life for that person and give everything you have and what you do, and so on. So yeah.
That was very well put. I'm.
It's not bad. It's one of those. Oh, I mean, the perfect example of it is like saying, like, listen, like, say, for example, like the people that run my server for me, so the admins on there, like, they're my friends, because I trust them. They are honest with me and I'm honest with them, and they understand that the point of this server is not to have like a bunch of shit posting and a lot of crap going on, and they understand what I'm trying to do, and I understand that they are doing their best to make sure that the place is a wholesome and, environment of, caring, sharing, and understanding. And because I spend most of my days with them, they are my family. They are a family, to me at the very least. And then we have a union of sorts, which is like, this is us, this is the team, this is the team behind the Sidcord, like Discord, as we call it. And then we have bonds. So like each of the admins that we have there, they are, we have shared experiences, like playing games that have just gone really stupidly, or we've had to deal with toxic people and things like that happen, and you just have to deal with it, and it's just ridiculous stories. And then obviously I care for each of them, obviously, because like I care for their well-being. If someone's not doing so great, we will do what we can to make things better. And the same vice versa. When I was going through a really bad patch, they stepped up to the plate and helped me make this the Hellblade video, and they helped me run the server and so on. And then of course life, like I would give anything for these guys because I love them.
Right. Someone's asking, have you ever thought about writing your ideas and experiences down into a book?
Yes, and currently working on it.
Oh.
Where basically we're just going to start a cult. That's the plan, really. We're just going to start a cult called Sidianism, and with the teachings that I come up with, all this random, overly intense, deep crap that I spew.
I look forward to seeing that book. Would you like release it as an ebook or as like an actual physical book?
Both. Well, ebook because it's just ease of access. I would like everyone to have easy access to it, and then in an actual book because that'd be cool.
That would be neat. Yeah. I mean,
that'd be cool as hell. Damn.
I would actually purchase that book just to support you and see what you have to say.
I'd give it out for free. That's just how I'd do it. I'd be like, yeah, whatever, man. Here.
Oh.
Here you go. Books for everyone. Go to all the schools around the country, which is like, here you go. Here's thousands of books, copies of this book. We're gonna brainwash all these kids to be loving people.
Just a
empathetic.
Just a whole class dedicated to your book. A whole school. Yeah. Okay. So last question for you here, Sid, that I have written down.
Sure.
What new and different things do you plan on doing with your channel this year, if anything?
I have no idea. None whatsoever. I genuinely, I've had like 2 ideas so far. One was doing a video on the art of Supergiant games, like Transistor, Bastion, those kind of games, because that's just a really cool art style. But I don't know enough about that art style in order to do anything on it yet, because like when I do like my drawings and stuff, it's all very Shinkawa in aesthetic, because that's just the kind of style I kind of trained myself to do. And then the other idea was to do something on oh no, wait, change that. 3 ideas. So the first one was the art of Supergiant games. Then the second one was dealing with an existential crisis with Nier Automata, because apparently that game has like some kind of existential crisis thing to it. So I was thinking about playing that and then seeing what I could interpret it from that, and maybe help people having that kind of crisis, similar in vein to the psychosis and depression videos. And then the third idea was about sharing experiences with friends or people, how to introduce someone to games who doesn't regularly play games.
Right.
So, for example, like, I don't know, like XCOM is a great game type. However, it's pretty complicated. How do you get someone who doesn't regularly play games or is familiar with all of this to play something like that? Because it gets intense. Not a lot of people understand that things like permadeath are a real thing or whatever. And, there's quite a lot into it. So, what would you suggest? I would suggest Super Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, because that was great. And that is that, but in a easy and friendly version. Another kind of topic within that kind of video would have been things like couch co-op games, like the really simple fun ones like Duck Game or Stick Fight, because through personal experience, when you bring kind of like people together in that kind of environment, whether it's online or on an actual couch together with people who don't normally play games, they love that kind of stuff because it's so easy to get, so easy to understand, so easy to play, and then they get hooked on it, and then they want to experience the breadth of gaming, because most people who aren't part of this how do you say, ecosystem, like people who don't have like video games as their primary hobby, like you or myself or the people who are currently listening or watching, when they think gaming, they think either mobile games or they'll be thinking about like Call of Duty, because that is what is advertised to them on a constant basis. So how do you introduce the kind of games that would be a lot more easy to, access or play? Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I was thinking about. That's probably the most developed idea I have so far. So yeah.
Do you have like any subscriber goals or anything like that, or no, not really?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'd like a little less, make my DMs a little easier to handle.
Well, in that case, you can't really do much. you, you can't like tell your subscribers, "Hey, can you just go away? Yeah, unsubscribe, please. Thank you."
I could do what Shammy did and let's say, "Hey, yeah, you got to go. Here's some people to subscribe to," but I don't know if that works.
Yeah. Have what you had done to you. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to burden someone else with this purpose.
Well, I mean, that's it, Sid. That's all the questions I had. Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you have enjoyed the interview, you can go ahead and, drop us a like, drop us a sub, whatever you'd like to do. Go on. You can go ahead and do it. But yeah, that's it, everyone. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next one. Take care and goodbye.